Hello, I'm Angela Tsun. You're watching 7's 4:30 News live from Perth. Coming up, the new device keeping WA kids safe from sex offenders. Singer Seal's angry tirade after Joel Madden's drug bust. And the Governator arrives in Perth. But first, a man suspected of being behind the violent robbery and rape of a Perth woman in Bali has been shot while being arrested by police. It's alleged he held a knife to the 27-year-old's throat and raped her as family members slept nearby in their Karabakan villa. The 30-year-old was arrested on Monday after a 6-week search. Police say they shot him in the leg as he tried to run away. Prime Minister Gillard has slammed a sexist Liberal Party attack on her appearance, claiming it proves her claim that Labor is the party of women. Tony Abbott has condemned the slur, which featured on a menu at a fundraiser for coalition candidate Mal Brough. A Perth taxi driver has spoken of his ordeal after being bashed and robbed in Como. It happened after he stopped to drop off a passenger. Grant Taylor has the details.
Police suspect the same offenders are responsible for a string of crimes in the last 24 hours, including an armed robbery at this Cloverdale news agency this morning.
Ahead on 7's 4:30 News, is now a good time to fix your mortgage interest rate? And riots in Turkey escalate.
7 News is taking the pulse of Perth, your suburb,
We need to change it up.
your issues,
It's not just government's challenge.
what matters to you. Tonight, Kwinana and Rockingham,
What we have been doing hasn't been working.
giving the young new hope.
It just gets more motivated.
A special report on 7 News.
Time to check the financial markets now, and the ASX closed lower for the 12th day in 16 trading sessions as investors continued to move their money offshore amid concerns about a weak global economy. One Australian dollar is buying 94 US cents and just over 9,200 Indonesia rupiah. For most of us, the biggest loan we'll ever have is our mortgage. But how do we find the best deal? To explain the ins and outs, our personal finance expert Nick Bruning joins us. And Nick, is now a good time to be borrowing?
Well, yes, Ange, it probably is, because interest rates are pretty much at 40-year lows. That said, the banks are pretty strict at the moment about borrowers meeting the minimum conditions. You'll need to have a genuine savings history of about 6 months, a record of stable employment and a deposit of at least 5%. There's plenty of providers, including mortgage brokers, so you can certainly shop around, but just be aware that mortgage brokers don't have access to all the lenders, so doing a bit of work yourself could save you a lot of money.
And what about if we already have a mortgage? Is now a good time to fix rates or perhaps swap lenders?
Well, it's a bit of a moving feast as far as rates are concerned, but I would say it's a good idea to fix maybe some of the mortgage at a low rate now, maybe half. It's kind of a 2-bob each way bet on where they'll go next. I would be a bit careful about jumping lenders because you just might be up for set-up fees and charges that, when you analyse it, add up to more than the interest you save.
Thank you very much. Some good advice there, Nick. There have been violent clashes in the Turkish capital, Ankara, as protests spread following a police crackdown in Istanbul. Thousands of riot police stormed on Historic Square, where protesters had been campaigning against the rule of the country's Prime Minister. A brutal bashing that was captured on film has seen 2 brothers jailed. Noel Brunning has the latest from the GWN 7 News Desk.
Thanks, Angela. And we have the footage that caught them in the act. The security vision shows how the 4 men ganged up on a 19-year-old on Christmas Day. Brothers Chris and Gary Cross were sentenced to 13 months. The victim has recovered. A young man has been hit by a car and killed on the busy Southwest Highway in Brunswick. Major crash officers are questioning the driver but say it appears to be a tragic accident. And a mystery arsonist has set fire to piles of wood chips in the southwest town of Myallup. The Department of Environment and Conservation is now backburning to keep the surrounding areas safe. Back to you, Angela.
Australian ultramarathon swimmer Chloe McArdle is expected to attempt her record-breaking swim from Cuba to the US tonight. She's aiming to become the first person to make the journey without the protection of a shark cage.
It is the hardest swim in the world today. This is the penultimate of ultramarathon swimming.
Her support crew believe the conditions will be perfect to attempt the swim, which is expected to take 60 hours. Coming up after the break, the Socceroos' brilliant win over Jordan, and I'll have the latest weather details for you. To the weather, it'll be wet in most capitals tomorrow. A shower or two and 16 degrees is the forecast for Adelaide. Rain and 15 in Melbourne, a top of just 12 for Hobart. The rain should ease for Canberra. Sydney could get a morning shower. Rain will clear early for Brisbane, mostly sunny, and 33 for Darwin. And in Perth, the run of blue skies could come to an end. Showers are possible tomorrow and again Friday. 21 degrees the top tomorrow, and for the next few days, back to sunny weather on the weekend and staying fine most of next week. And that's all from the 4:30 news team for today, but stay with us for the national news with Rebecca Madden. It's bye for now.